Hey guys, today we're going to learn how to install Apache Commons IO. Now, this is something you might have come across. This is something I came across. So I'm looking at Java examples and solutions other people have come up with, particularly on like say Stack Exchange or something. Now, you might notice a lot of people use or recommend using different libraries like with the name Apache Commons, and you might say, "Oh, that's some weird third-party library. I'm just going to stick with the core Java stuff." But turns out this is a pretty common library that a lot of people use a lot. It's pretty standard, used in a lot of Apache projects, and it might make a lot of sense, and it might save you a lot of trouble knowing how to use it. It can definitely make your life more convenient, and if not, it can. If not that, at the very least, it's worth knowing how to do it, because probably a lot of packages or tools you might end up working with may very well require Apache Commons. So one thing you could do, you can also set this up in Maven or Gradle, and we're not doing that today. We're going to show you how to do this manually on the command line, and how to compile a program using just Java C on the command line in Linux. So we're going to show you how to do that. It shouldn't be too far off from what you would do in Windows. Just paths and things might be a bit different. And if you're using an IDE or if you're using Maven, things are also going to be different in that case too. So let's move this over here. So we have a little test program here. We're going to fill that in with an example in a little bit. But first, so I actually installed this on my system already. Now you're going to so three main steps. I'm going to try to show you what I did as best as I can. Download it, add it to your class path, and then import it into your program. So those are the main steps for downloading Apache Commons. So if you want it, you can click on this link right here. Now check the link in the description for this video. It's going to point you to this page we're on right now. And on this page, you'll note there's a little link here that will bring you to Apache Commons, or you could just Google it. Either way, so this is the site right here, Apache Commons. Unless you want to build it from source, you can just click on one of these. Whatever you prefer, a zip file or a tar.gz file, whichever is more convenient for you to unpack. I used a tar.gz myself, so yeah, you can just download it from there. So that's pretty easy. So I created a directory called my jars. So I'm going to go up a directory and say ls my jars. So this is the commons.io. This is that file you just let me bring this back up. That's this file right here that I downloaded. And if you go to this site rather than using a direct download link, you can just pick the latest version, which happens to be what I already have. But yeah, just download the latest version from there. Anyways, so you'll download that, or you could use wget like we're going to show you here. So you could do an mkdir to create a directory like I created my jars. Then from within that, rather than you could download it from a web browser like that, if you want to get the latest version. Or you could say, you could cd into the my jars directory. So like cd my jars, and then you could run this command wget and get the actual download link. So like if you were to go here and you were to say, Apache Commons, and right click on that and say copy link address, you could say wget. I'm going to show you how to do this right here. Wget, paste that link in there. Now the reason you do that rather than take the exact link that I have in my instructions here, like this is current now, but in the future this version might be old and outdated, so you can just go to this download directory and find whatever the newest version is. Right click and say copy the link, go over to your terminal and say wget and the name of the file, and that's going to pull down that file right there. So do an lsltr. You'll notice, okay, see it has a .1. So this is the version that I just downloaded today. And this is the version I downloaded previously, I guess. So why is that? Oh yeah, and the date is whenever it was created, not the date I downloaded it. So yeah, there you go. So it's not going to overwrite a file that's already in the directory. But if it did, that would be no big deal. All right, so anyways, so once you download that, you can use wget, or you could have right-clicked and downloaded it and moved it into the directory you want, whichever works best for you. If you're on a server with no GUI, wget might be your go-to tool. Now you run tar xvfz on your tar.gz file, which is what I chose. So this tar.gz file. So copy it, tar. So you run tar x to extract, v for verbose, f for file. You were specifying that we're working on a file, and z for onzip or on gzip. Then you could paste the actual file name in right there. And I'm not going to run this right now, but yeah, so run tar xvfz. That will untar it and ungzip it. Yeah, sorry. And so run that command, and it will unpack that whole file for you, and it will unpack it to a directory that looks like this, which is where I unpacked it. So let's take a quick look inside this directory, inside commons.io, and you'll notice some jar files in here, and this is Apache Commons IO. So these are the jar files, and really like these are tests and sources and stuff. The one you care about is this file right here. Now, and you notice there's like a license and a release notes and a docs directory. No big deal there. Worth pointing out, there's more to Apache Commons. This is Apache Commons IO. There are other Apache Commons libraries that I am not covering today. This is just Apache Commons IO I'm showing you how to set up today. All right, so anyways, you're going to want to make sure this jar is on your class path. So you can do that on the command line. So I actually have this on my class path already. I'm going to just export it anyways, just to show you. So I'm going to copy this command here and just paste it in the terminal just so you can see. Paste it over here like this. You see it says, I should move this up in the center of the screen. It says export class path equals dot for your current directory. That way any, like the class you're trying to run in your current directory will be part of the class path and run. Otherwise that can cause some issues for you. So it's a dot, then separate the paths by colons, and you have a home, user1, my jars, that's the directory I just created, and commons IO, and that's the directory we unpacked, and this is the actual jar file up here. So this jar file up here, we're pointing to it, with this path right here. But we want to make sure we have that little dot here, so whatever directory you're currently in is also on the path. And yeah, otherwise that can break things. So you would run this export. I'm not going to run it because I've already done it. And so when you say echo $path, class path, your class path is going to look like this. So class path, not to be confused with your actual class. Your actual class is where you'll find binaries by default. Class path is where all your Java libraries are. So this is what my class path currently looks like. And you can run that command after running that export to verify that it worked properly. Now, you don't want to have to run that every time you open up a new terminal or every time you reboot your machine. Now, setting up the class path is going to be a little bit different on Windows, and probably almost exactly the same on Mac OS, but we're just showing you how to do it on Linux today. You can look for how to set your class path in general and just adjust as appropriately if you're trying to do this on Windows. Anyways, so if you want to have this always be there anytime you open a new terminal, you can add that to your bash RC. So vi dot so you know what, let me just jump to my home directory, vi.bash rc, and this is my bash rc file. I'm going to have to edit this out because it contains things that should not be in this video. Alright, so this is the end of my bash rc file. Let's see here. So you can see I have a lot of other things exported. These are all my environment variables, a lot of things exported. So my Java class path is right here, export class path. So that's the same command we ran before. You just place that in your bash RC, and that will run anytime bash executes. So you're going to have this anytime you open a new terminal. So that kind of just does that for you. So that hopefully saves a bunch of time. So that's part of, I would view that as part of setting this up. And let's see. So yeah, so that's basically that. Add that to your bash RC, and then you should be ready to actually run a demo. So let's run a demo program. Let's see. Import. We're gonna run for our import. We're gonna import. So just to test this out, we're gonna import a couple things. One of these is gonna be one of these is going to be Apache Commons IO, and one is just a regular. We're going to include Java IO, I believe, just for the class, just to be able to use the file class. And then we're going to import org Apache Commons IO to import Apache Commons, and then we're going to, because that's what we're testing out. So let's see. I'm going to copy these two lines to test them out. And copy, move down here. So really just 2 lines of my demo. Paste these lines in here. And so we're going to use file utils, and we're going to use the size of function. So this is from Apache Commons, and we're going to use the file utils size of to see the size of a file. All right, so and you know, we're using the file class, which is why we imported java.io. So basically, what we're doing here is we're creating a new file object, and we're initializing it with with this path to test1.java, which is the current source file we're working on right now. We just picked that just because I know it exists. So we create a new file object with that file, and we pass that. That's returned and then passed as a parameter to the size of function of the file utils class, which comes from Apache Commons IO. And so that will return that returns a number, which is a long. So we assign it to a long variable called x, and then we just print out the variable x, and that's the size of the file. So I am going to cd to test. All right, so this is where my source is. So let's see here. Let's write out these changes. So yeah, test1.java. So java c test1.java. Let's compile it. And so we compiled it without any errors, showing that our Apache Commons.io is being imported successfully. Now let's try, or at least that it compiles with that import symbol. So let's try running the class, and there we go. It prints out a size of 211. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's offhand, if that's bytes or what. We could actually find out, but let's see. Test. Ding, ding. So yeah, we can see the size right here. It looks like bytes. So yeah, 211 bytes. So that's the size of the file in bytes. So it looks like file utils size of will actually just take the file size in bytes. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, so we can pretty much confirm, yeah, that is the size in bytes. And yeah, so there you go. Anyways, yeah, the whole point of this was just to demonstrate using one of the functions from one of the classes in org Apache Commons.io. So there we go. We have learned how to install Apache Commons IO. We did it on Linux using the command line and manual tools. No Maven or anything, and no Windows, no ID, nothing else. So that's pretty much everything we wanted to cover today. Hopefully you guys liked it. Give me a thumbs up. You might want to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more things like this. You might want to hit the little bell icon, and you might want to you're definitely going to want to leave a comment down below. I mean, if you have anything you want to say, any comments, questions, criticisms, anything you want to know, anything you want to say, we want to know what you think. So definitely leave a comment down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully you found this useful, and thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.